Hey guys, it's Equinox again, and we finally chested 23 Sanguine depths. It took us like 12 tries over 2 push weeks, but we finally did it, and I'm going to do a commentary over it, because Sanguine depths is a hard dungeon. I feel like people need help with it. So I'm going to go over our route really quick, same thing I did with our Plaguefall video. You can check that out. I'll put a link into it in the description below. But let's start off with the first pull. First pull, you do these two packs together, and then you pull them on top of the jar. I think the jar is somewhere like over here. But yeah, you pull it to the jar, you kill it, get the 10 jar stacks. This route is with Venthyr in mind. You can do this route without Venthyr. I'll explain the pull changes a little bit as we go through. But we Shroud Pass here or Invispot, either one doesn't matter. You pull all of these mobs into this corner right here. The reason for this is it makes Sanguine much easier, and you have more room away from these ticks. So when you do this strat, these little famished ticks will be flying from this portal over here, and they'll be flying down through here all the way out to here. So that's where these ticks come from. If you've ever done this while you're pulling this pack, the ticks will fly through. But yeah, you just sit over here, you avoid them, don't AoE. They don't aggro onto you unless you hit them, so you can stand like literally on top of them as long as you're not doing damage. But yeah, after this, after we kill every single gluttonous tick, we take the brute into this pull, and we kill that. Again, as soon as when you're walking past, don't AoE. So we kill this, and then we do this. We do this pack, and this is Pride. Then we do Boss, and then we do... So what we do is we do this, and then we do that together. So we do this pull together, we kill, we AoE down, we run through, I pull the Chamber Sentinel, and then we pop all cooldowns on this pull. We kill it all, make sure you get CCs, and then we finish off the Chamber Sentinel, and then we take G9 into G11, and we get the bat. And this is a jar pull, this is 10 stacks for the jar. We Invispot again. We kill the Head Custodian Javelin. That gives us Pride. We get Pride, and then we do a double pull. So this hallway is very dynamic. It depends like very much on the pat you get and what Chamber Sentinel you get. But we always do this double pull first, and then you can either do this double pull, which is ideal, or you do the Chamber Sentinel plus this 3-pack, and then you do this. And then you do G23, G24, and G25 together. So either one of these combinations, ideally you want G22 and G23 together, and then Chamber Sentinel, G24, and G25 together. That's ideal. Next pull, again, completely dependent on the pack. If the this pat right here is like all the way over here, like here I'll draw. If the pat is like somewhere around here or here, then you just do G27 and G26 together. Again, if you do if you get the Chamber Sentinel like right here, then you have to do I guess the Chamber Sentinel. Yeah, you get the Chamber Sentinel like right here. You'll have to change it up, but I don't actually remember what the Chamber Sentinel is. We'll see in the video. But yeah, either do these two to get G27 and G28 together, or you do G26 and G27 together, and then you do Chamber Sentinel plus. And then you do the pat plus the Chamber Sentinel, or the pat plus the G29 and the Chamber Sentinel. Then we do Boss after. I forgot to mention. We do after this Pride, the 60% Pride, we do Boss, and that's where our second list is. We jump down. You do either this pat plus G32, or you do the pat plus G31. It doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. You get Pride at the same spot anyway. Then you do G33 after the Boss, and then you Shroud or Invis. We let the healer get full mana, then we do this pull together usually, and that'll be a big pull. You can do it separately if you have plenty of time. There's no reason to rush it if you don't have to. But yeah, you usually just do all of this separate, or two of these together and then separate. This is the jar pull, so you pull this pack into the jar, and the jar is right here. You have one person pop their cooldowns with the jar. You get the 10 stacks. Also, Gargans refresh the jar. buff, so you can have like constantly refreshing the jar buff. Once you get 10 stacks, I pull in G38 with someone's cooldowns. You'll see in the video. And then we do G39, G40, and G41. If we're short on time, we'll double pull these together. Then we do boss. So yeah, let's go over to the video. So this first pull's most important thing is animate weapon from the skirmisher. So as you see, first two pull it back, Ox, weapons of order, get threat. You see the animate weapon, I leg sweep as late as I possibly can to maybe get both. Then I find the skirmisher that hasn't cast animate weapons and I paralyze it. If you do any CC, it cancels this cast and they don't recast it. Animate weapon hurts so much. You do not want this going off. But yeah, you see this pull plays. I'll show you how we deal with Sanguine on the jar. So the way I deal with Sanguine on this jar is I take the mobs to the edge of the jar, and then as stuff starts dying, I start dragging the mobs down. I do it kind of poorly here, I'm pretty sure. So I drag it, and then I see a little opening to drag through, and so I ring forward, and then I drag it again. So you could do this a little cleaner. So like, I'll back up. If you bring these mobs down to around where my pet bar is, like you see this like the little lit up pet attack button, if you drag the mobs down there and start tanking them there, and then you drag them forward to where they are now, the Sanguine will be much neater. So we fast forward, we get this pull down 10 stack, we shroud, and you guys are going to see the infinite ticks. So you see like all these ticks going through. We pull this guy, you get the grubby dirt cruncher, you get the brute, and you get this, and we tank him in this corner. So the reason I drag him in this corner is because there's way more room for Sanguine, and we aren't like playing really close to ticks. So yeah, I drag him in the corner. We make sure we get our kicks. So with CCs on the engorge cast, if you have to wait till their cast is done and they start the channel. So here, I'll back it up. See this cast? We wait till it starts casting. Engorge, the cast finishes, I sweep. And then it cancels the cast and they don't recast it. That one has cooldown come back up, we kick. We start dragging with Sanguine, that guy heals a little bit, that's okay. It's not a big deal. We drag this through, we chain. Make sure you assign kicks on every one of these pulls. So if you have the weak aura that I do, if you see the little like claw icons right next to their nameplate, that is their highest damage ability on this pull. You play your cooldowns around that cast. But these are pretty simple. You should play around these. Start dragging for Sanguine. Next pull, this pull's really hard. I'm pretty sure I blood spattered scale on pull here. Hit blood spattered scale. This pull is very tough because they all claw at relatively the same time. After blood spattered scale, I think I Celestial Brew or I save it. Yeah, I have GA, so I save it. Now I Celestial Brew once GA is over. Get our kicks and stops. We look at their claw casts. Don't be afraid to kite these mobs. Even the little ones hurt a lot. The little ones do not drop Sanguine, by the way, so don't worry about those. Also, another benefit of this route is sometimes a lot of people's routes, the Pride will spawn before the Brute dies because of how the percent works out. But with this route, the benefit is this pack you can kill stuff early, you can kill stuff late, doesn't matter. But yeah, you can get Pride on the very last mob no matter what. So it's really helpful that way. So we get Pride. We do Pride, we always have our Mage Combust Pride. Our Hunter CD'd at the very end. I guess because it helps him line up his cooldowns better. I don't know why he did it, but so personally, if you're a DPS, You never want to pop cooldowns when the pride is this low, because we're gonna lust immediately after this, right? So it's like kind of pointless. And I think we lose boss damage doing it this way, but it's okay. So here, let me show you guys how I pull this. I almost forgot. So I pull the boss into this close corner right here, and I put my back against this corner for the vicious headbutt. And this makes it so when I get knocked back, I don't move anywhere. So I dodge it there, you don't see me get knocked back, that's fine. Make sure you kick the Hungering Drain. We soak the first headbutt because we have pride and we can just heal through it, so we save immunities for later. Again, I just soak the headbutt. Dodge it again, unlucky. I port my first orb. So the reason I port my first orb, we used to do a thing where me and our rogue would soak instantly, but we kept having an issue where our priest or hunter or mage would sometimes get unlucky and get knocked into his own orb. So I just started porting mine or not soaking mine and just having one soak, and then the healer just calls out whenever he wants the soak to be done. So we fast forward. We soak this one because it's on our healer. If you're a holy priest, you can guardian spirit yourself and solo it if people aren't healthy enough to soak, but we're healthy, so we just soak it. It's completely fine. So I don't have port for this one, so I have to position myself so I get knocked away from our mage. I end up being wrong and getting knocked in. This is really bad for me. Don't do what I did. So if you're gonna be here, make sure you're to the right of where I am now, in between. So like a little middle point is like between where the rogue is. Like you see where the rogue is to my right, and then between where the mage is. So you want to go a little bit more to my right, and that's the perfect position to be in that situation. Don't do what I did. It's bad. It could have wiped us, or not wiped us, but it could have caused death. So I call for my team to reverse here. And so the reason we're reversing where we put the orbs instead of back against the exit is we don't want to soak these. So we have a block here for our mage. He blocks. We don't have to soak it. It's really good. These next set of orbs, we are not planning on soaking. So you see here, I drop them. I have my board up, so I just stack them. And then we just kill the boss. I touch of death. Boom. We have deaths on this pull, I'm pretty sure. This is done pretty sloppily, I think. Because we didn't have combust up. But that's okay. So we pull the Chamber Sentinel in. I ROP for a stop. Jack dies because he got 3 Dark Bolts in a row, which is really unfortunate. So, like, a lot of people would panic at this situation, but, it's okay. It's like, it happens. People die. You just keep playing. I should have rolled away from that Severing Slice. I was just, I wasn't paying attention, so that's just my bad. Make sure you don't do that. Make sure you always save a roll charge for Severing Slice and tell your team where you're pointing the Severing Slice. It's really, really helpful. But yeah, we kill the Chamber Sentinel. So this is the jar tech I was talking about before. You drag these into the jar. So I tell my team to run forward. My healer's getting a good drink off here. We just wait. I look for the bat. I pull the bat. I drag this into the jar. And then we pop cooldowns. And we start bursting. And as you'll see, we'll get 10 stacks pretty much immediately. We get about 8 or 9. But yeah, we get a lot of stacks. Dread Bindings, you just Tiger's Lust it off yourself like you see there. Boom, easy. I tank these on the edge, so I always start them on one side, and then I ROP them out. Yeah, just keep them in the jar. This is bad Sanguine kiting by me. It's okay though, it happens. But yeah, we get our 10 stack. We shroud. We shroud through. If you're a rogue here, distract left, and your team goes right. So you see these mobs all get distracted left. We go right. Boom, easy. You can roll and shroud if you didn't know. So you see me there. I roll, double roll. Don't get broken out of shroud. We do this custodian pull. We do pride. So normally, if you're in a lower key, if you kill this pack really fast, you see the jar buff. This will last, like, if you have this jar buff up for 20 seconds, like we did on our 22, then it's really good. You don't have to pop cooldowns on this pride. But our mage had to pop combust because our jar buff fell off. This is the double pull. So how I do this double pull is I walk here, cake smash, I run through, click the door, and I sit here and wait. I pop blood spattered, and then we wait till everything's line of sight, and then we kill it. It just makes creeping it up really easy. Then me and Rogue rotate kicks on the dread shackles, or barb shackles. I look to the right there to see where the pad is, and I tell my hunter to put a trap where the pad's going to walk. So you do this pack. You always want to kill the scribes first because they drop Sanguine. Or because it makes Sanguine easier, I should say. We see Barb Shackles went off there, and so I'm off healing my priest. Barb Shackles hurts a shit ton. My off heals here don't make, or made a pretty big difference. I think you would have died if I didn't off heal, but I don't know, it's hard to tell. So I pull here, I say if we get the Chamber Sentinel, then I pull the Pat. Speed taunt him in. So the reason I speed taunted him there is because the scribes don't start casting throw research immediately. So if I speed taunt him, then I get him in faster. We do this pull because of the jar. Bring him forward. Just make sure you keep these mobs in the jars. A little thing about these groups is the vestiges of doubts. Every time they cast the little growing mistrust, is a little. You see the giant puddle on the ground? Those are the ones that spawn them. You want to kill the vestiges of doubts first, and so here I have touch of death up, and I tell them to finish the vestige of doubt, and I'll touch of death the fury. So I touch of death the fury, vestige of doubt dies, boom, no sanguine problems. I tried to class that one close to the jar, but it kind of bugged out, so unlucky. We refresh our jar. We do not refresh our jar buff. That's unfortunate. So we know the Chamber Sentinel's here. I tried to sneak past here because I want to. I don't want to pull it yet, but it turns out the Chamber Sentinel isn't up. So I ended up just running through. I pull this pack. I pull the Chamber Sentinel. I pull the 3-pack. I tell them on where I'm going to roll. I roll right there. I roll the Severing Slice, and then we just do this 3-pack. You want to focus down everything but the Chamber Sentinel. Like, you just wanted to cleave the Chamber Sentinel. Like, kill the Warden and the Scribes. You want to kill the Scribes first. So I roll the Severing Slice there. Kill the Warden. We kill the Warden first here. I Rop away. That Rop was a little too early, but it's on the Ghouls, so it doesn't matter. We want to kill the Ghouls first. We kill the Ghouls, and then we kill the Chamber Sentinel. The reason I started turning around is so we have less distance between that and the boss. Or the Pride and the boss. We don't want the Pride to spawn all the way down the hallway. We do this Pride. We have 2 people cooldown it, that's fine. Pride dies. So we do not have Combust up. We do not have the Hunter CD up. So what I do here is I call I'm gonna touch of death the ad. We lust. We touch of death the ad. Boom, easy. We move on to the next. So something we did that was really bad here is we popped the Hunter and Mage cooldown before the next ad spawn. Do not do this because it makes it really, really sketchy, especially because the next ad is a bad overlap. So you see, like, the Castigate is like the same time as the ad, And if that is the case, then it's going to be, you're going to have Castigate during the add AoE, and that's the bad overlap. You want to have a DPS cooldown for this, and we do not, so this is really bad by us. We got extremely lucky that it went on the mage, so he just blocks it off, and we have time to kill the add. If it went on our healer, it would have been really bad. But yep, we keep going. Goes on our mage. This is not a bad overlap, so this one isn't very scary. We focus his add. We have no cooldowns, so this is just really unfortunate. Like we played this boss very poorly, but it's okay. We made it through. I see my healer is low, so I start vivifying him. I call to focus the add here. Our healer dies, but we kill the add, so it's fine. This just goes to show, like, even if you're playing poorly, as long as you focus up, it's okay. Like, you can make it do. I check the Chamber Sentinel before we do this pull. You should always do this. Always make sure you're watching the Chamber Sentinel. We do this pull. I pull it all together. Fort Brew. Again, look at the trap placement. I tell my hunter to place the trap where the pat's going. This pull, you want to focus down the scribes. I'm just tanking it as long as I can. I have Fort Brew going. As soon as my Fort Brew's over, I wait. So I cardboard there first. We call for cardboards. And then after cardboards are over, I Celestial Brew. So cardboard's still going. Still waiting. Still haven't Celestial Brewed. Cardboards are still going. Now the cardboards are over, I Celestial Brew. We focus the Research Scribe. I ROP him. So I ROP the Research Scribe out of Sanguine, and then I start kiting. I call for a binding on the ghouls and tell them to finish off the Research Scribe. You see everyone's hitting the Research Scribe. And then I take these ghouls into the 3-pack, the pat. This could have been done much better, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. So we kite this out, make sure we kite the Sanguine. Finish out the Vestige of Doubt, drag the Explosive Fury back. Then we drag them on top of each other. Then we know the Chamber Sentinel is going to be in one of these two, so we get the Chamber Sentinel plus the 3-pack. Easy pull. Pretty sure I make a mistake here and don't roll the Severing Slice fast enough. Yeah, I did roll it fast enough, but I just fucked up my roll. So never make sure you're rolling straight backwards and not to the side. I end up living here because I have Tuft, so it's fine. We go downstairs. We do this 3-pull. So look at all where these casts are going on. All 3 of these casts go on me, and we do not kick it. We use none of our kicks because I can just get dispelled. And then I call that I'm leg sweeping the next set of casts. I leg sweep it. Here, I'll play it slower. I leg sweep it as late as I can. So we leg sweep as late as I can. And then DB, we fear. And then I think we DB next. Yeah, we DB next. And then I ROP the next cast at the very end. And then I get my kick. And that way we don't have to worry about any of the casts. And then we do this 2-pack. This 2-pack's really simple. Call for kicks, drag it out of the puddle. We do Pride, double cooldowning in. We move on to the boss. So the way I handle these spikes is I blood spatter. No, I don't blood spatter. I don't use anything here. So the way we handle balls is we use one personal or one immunity, or like alter time, and then I immune. Every single one with Celestial Brew. So like as you'll see, I get none of the orbs. I Celestial Brew it. Doesn't hurt me at all. Endless Torment, we dodge. And then this Iron Spike, I blood spattered, I'm pretty sure. Yep, I blood spattered. And then I save my Celestial Brew for this every single time. So again, Celestial Brew, boom. Doesn't even hurt. Dodge. This Iron Spikes, I do not want to use Fort Brew because we're going to do a double pull in the gauntlet, and I want Fort Brew to be up. So I just wait until I dip, and then I healing orbs. And then I health pot. I tell my healer that I'm going to health pot there, so he knows not to, he doesn't have to spam me too much. So you always want to plan something for each one of these. And if you don't, just tell your healer so he can spam you. Again, Celestial Brew it. Easy peasy. We lust. So the reason we lust here is because we're gonna get lust here and then on the last boss. If we don't lust and we save it for the gauntlet, we won't get it on the last boss. My healer gave me Fey Guardians there. I told him I have nothing and I'm saving my cooldowns, and he said I'll give you Fey Guardians, so he gives me Fey Guardians. Completely fine, I live. Communicating with your healer is really important. I tell my team to get orbs there just in case. Our hunter's slowpoke and didn't get the orb, so he died. Omega lol. We get the shield. We do this pull. So what we do since we do the double pull here is we tell our mage to combust, but our hunter saves his cooldowns. If you use combust and the hunter 1 minute cooldowns, both of them will not be up for the gauntlet pull. So if we just use combust here, then it's fine. It'll be up. Also, a little something I don't know if that people know, but once these Huntsmasters are dead, I think they're Huntsmaster. Yeah, Huntsmasters are dead. These traps on the ground don't work. They don't do anything. So like you can run them over. So like I'll show you when they die. So like this guy dies, I could like just watch. I walk all over them. They don't do any damage. The only thing that did damage to me there was Sanguine. We shroud. Whenever we shroud, we let our healer drink, and I also called away from my Tiger's Lust. Our hunter gets his food buff here because we're really good on time. So right here, I walk up. This starts the RP as soon as we get in combat. I spinning crank or I kick smash, spinning crank kick for shuffle. Walk in, blood spattered immediately. He Fey Guardians and toughs me on pole, so I don't pop anything else. Then he says he GS's me. I heal myself. I Celestial Brew. The reason I Celestial Brew is so GS doesn't proc. Then I start kiting because mobs start dying. And the cadets are the only mobs in this pack that drop Sanguine. You don't want the Sanguine to heal the boss. The Dark Acolytes are in Africa. This is bad. We should have killed the Dark Acolytes earlier, but it's fine. I drop my shield. We do this. Boom. We focus call down. Call phases soon-ish. Eventually. There, she phases finally. God, that took us forever. Oh well. We drag this next pack. This is the jar pull. So we have our mage combust here. We drag the boss out of Sanguine, and then we pull the Dark Acolytes because our hunter has cooldowns. This is the thing I was telling you about earlier. You have one person pop cooldowns to get the jar buff, and then you have another person pop cooldowns to get the this pack. So our hunter pops cooldowns here. You see he's gonna ascend on the meters pretty high. I touch of death one of the ads. I call to get in. So you want to get in here even with Quaking. Our hunter walks out in immunities. This is a good play by him. So yep, you walk in, get the damage reduction. Quaking gets DR too in this, so keep that in mind. Kill these acolytes, kill call. So this next pull is really, really easy. Also, that's a shitty overlap. It's really unfortunate. Like, watch, the Quaking comes right here. We just stack it anyway. We're not gonna die. It came really close to dying, but it's okay. We're gonna cheat. But yeah, this pull we have our mage single target combust the boss because it's better for time and there's like no AoE mobs. So yeah, we pull this. Our mage single target combust. Call's getting actually obliterated. Same bad overlap. It's really unfortunate. But we still live because the shield reduces Quaking damage. We go through, we do this 3-pack. I have to roll from Severing Slice here. So I called that I was going to stop both of these animated weapons. And as you can see, it's going to get really close. I roll away from Severing Slice. I walk in, and I get a max range leg sweep on both of them. That's really, really close. I should have just had my rogue get one, and then I para one from range. That would have been much cleaner, but it ended up working out. It's fine. We do this. I roll away from severing. We go and do this. I shield soak these first traps, so we split up cloak and shield here. So I shield soak with celestial brew, get rid of both these traps so we have more room, and then I tell my rogue to cloak the next set of traps. So he cloaks, runs through the trap. Easy peasy, no traps to deal with. Another trap spawns. It's fine, we just kill it, and then I can walk over it. Mob dies, I walk over it, doesn't do anything. We kill this pride. And now all we had to do is live this boss. And I'm going to explain to you guys how I tank this boss. So I always pick one corner. You always keep him in one corner, and you keep the boss there the entire time until she teleports. So as you see, I keep her here. I don't move her. This lets our team position and not worry about the boss moving being a variable. You want to keep the boss positioning as consistent as you can. And then my mage blinks it, my hunter runs away. Neither get hit by the bleed. And then even with the piercing blur, I have blood spattered up, so I don't move. I want to rotate a shield or a cooldown every one of these piercing blurs so the boss never moves. Like I said, this is just to keep it very consistent. The boss positioning is always consistent no matter what. She teleports here. I think she goes far. Yep, I far. Roll. Hit the shield. Easy peasy. Then I tank her in the corner that I'm in right. We tank her in this corner because it's the closest. So again, Celestial Brew this one. The boss doesn't move from where she is, and it's much easier for my team to dodge. See, both of them dodged it. Same thing, I just keep her here. And since she ran away already, I don't have to stand in the piercing blur, so you'll see I keep her here. She's gonna dash, she dashed away, so I actually dodge. Reduce the damage I take. And then we do this, and then she shields. She goes close this time. I shield immediately. I tank her to this corner again, and again, I just sit here. I see that's going to hit me. I Celestial Brew. Easy peasy, doesn't do any damn. Also, a little tip for anyone doing this. If you have the Wicked Blade, or the Wicked Rush, everyone but you should come in close to the boss so they have more room to dodge. So you'll see our Rogue and Mage go out, and our Priest and Hunter move in. Our mage blinks, and our rogue got hit. It's fine, but yeah, it just makes it easier. It gives you more room. I fort brewed to stay in on the piercing blur there, so the boss positioning stayed consistent. We shield. Same corner. I have Celestial Brew up. I tank this. Boss positioning stays consistent. Our hunter dies. He's a PPJ. It happens. We just B-res him. No problem. I blood spattered this. Sit in it, so the boss positioning stays consistent. Both of them dodge, easy peasy. Boss ports. I walk. Tigers. So I kind of memed here. I was like, our team's like, all right, let everyone die, and then I shielded like the last second basically. It was just kind of funny. I keep the boss here, and it dies. So the hardest thing with Sanguine Depths this week is just keeping the Sanguine under control. Like, as you see, we only had 1 million Sanguine healing throughout the entire dungeon. It's on details. It's on the bottom right side. And that's pretty good. It could have been better. A lot of that was on General Call. I think 300k of that was on General Call, which is a big time loss. So we could have had a better dungeon. But yeah, just use the space in your hallway to the maximum advantage. Don't be afraid to tank them against walls and stuff to maximize your room with Sanguine. So, like, yeah. I hope this helped you guys. I hope this helps you with Sanguine on Sanguine weeks, because I think it's a very hard dungeon on Sanguine weeks. And if you think I could have done something better, leave it in the comments. If you liked it, like the video, and check out my socials, which will be in the description below. And yeah, thanks for watching.